Hey everybody, I thought I would just drop you a little video to kind of let you know what's been going on since last week. So what has happened is I did meet with the school district and I was approved to go back into the classroom. The first 2 days went great because overall we decided that I was only going to be doing partial days. So I was only there for half the class periods. Now, on the third day, which was Friday, I unfortunately had some seizures again while in the classroom. The substitute that was there was with me because it was decided that there would be two of us in there until I felt acclimated enough that we did not need to sub and I was not having any seizures. Now, again, don't forget that I have a functional neurological disorder, which means I have no idea what sets off these seizures at all. In fact, it was a beautiful day and the classes were going great. And I had just got done looking at a student's project and was talking with her, and it was a good conversation and we were laughing and joking around, and I just got up and walked towards the substitute and gave her my signal for I'm having a seizure. And she wrapped her arms around me, and as soon as she saw me, she said for all of the kids to go into another teacher's classroom because that was the next step that we had set up in place. Now, when all of the students were out of the classroom, the substitute was able to lay me down on the floor, call the front office for help, and at that time my seizures had stopped and I was able to sit up and I was verbally communicating just like I am now, so it did not affect my speech at all. They ended up just kind of wanting me to sit for a few minutes longer, and then I ended up going into another seizure. And so it was decided that it was time for me to get downstairs, and so they brought in a wheelchair and was in the process of taking me downstairs. Now, we were really close to the front of the school when unfortunately I went into more seizures, which means at this point in time, I had roughly 11 of them. Now, it was hard to count because many of these seizures were back to back, meaning that I would have really one long, drawn out, 2-minute seizure, and then maybe a 10-second break, and then I'd go right into a whole nother 2-minute long seizure. So it was kind of really hard to count when one would stop and when one would start again. But we roughly estimated about 11 of them. Now, because of how many that I had, and again, just following policy, we did call the paramedics, and so ER came, which had put the school on a soft lockdown. That way none of the students are in the hallway. It's just to make sure everybody stays safe, and that way the students don't see anything and it keeps them safe and distracted, while the person who is getting picked up, which in this case is myself, that I stay safe as well and everything stays confident and I don't get overwhelmed or embarrassed in any way. Now, the unfortunate part of all of this happening is, what does that mean for my job? And the thing is I don't know. I technically am able to go back, but I'm still having these seizures and I do not know what is causing them to go off. So the district wants to know, well, how many is she going to have a day? And my doctor, we don't know. One, and then the district comes back with, well, are you sure? Is she really going to have one a day? And my doctor comes back, well, I don't know. And that's what's so hard about this functional neurological disorder, is because it's not like this black and white thing where I can just take a medicine and it will go away. There's a lot of gray area and a lot of different things that can set off a seizure. And again, I have no idea how long they will last. I've had every single type of seizure that you can have except for a grand mal seizure, because I stay conscious through the whole thing. I can hear, and sometimes I can even talk. So that is how we know that they're not grand mal seizures, but I experience all of the other ones. And there is a big long list of all of the different types of seizures. And so that is what's going to be probably one of the hardest things about this whole process with going back to work, is that the district, number one, has to make sure these kids stay safe. Absolutely. I totally understand. And but the hard part is that, number one, I'm a really good teacher and the district wants me back. And number two, so do my students. My students want me back too. And the school and, some of my coworkers have even told me some of these stories. And, my students miss me in the classroom. But it scares me because I don't want to have a seizure in front of them any more than the district wants me to have a seizure in front of them. Like, that is not what I want to do. I'm not over here trying to put these kids in a position where they are going to be hurt, because I have so many kids that have come from just a wide variety of a background and just abusive in every way, and the trauma and the lack of love that some of these kids feel. And then to be present and have to see a teacher, possibly teachers that they even care about, go through something like that. Like, that's not what I want for them either. But I wanted to be there and teach them and help them grow and watch that light go off on the tops of their heads when they learn something new, and just to see that excitement and to say, I did it, and I have to show my parents, or to hear their stories that they went home and shared with their parents what they did in class today, and how proud they are and how much effort and time that they put into it. All to learn computer science, which is not an easy subject to teach at all, especially to find any love for it when it's really hard. It's like learning a whole new language, and these kids are learning to create and build and research and do something that they have been able to put together, and learn how to rest when they get tired and not stop. And so that's, a big reason why I want to come back, because I find that love for that connection with my students. And then even those that struggle, even the ones that struggle with it, and you have to continue to encourage every single day to remind them that there's somebody here that cares, that there is somebody here that will help them if they ask. And and just to build that and see that respect and to feel that respect, and to know that you are making a difference in these kids' lives. And this is something that they're going to remember, and they're going to one day call you or remember you by name. And that's why I'm a teacher. It's because I had that. I had amazing teachers that didn't give up on me. And I was a pain in the butt. I was a good student. I did sports. I did a lot of sports. I was an athlete in school, but I was still a pain in the butt. And so overall, you know what? I just pray to God. And at this point, I'm going to continue because I'm not done learning. I'm on a journey and I'm happy and I feel full of life again. And I'm going to leave it in God's hands because I know, because I have faith, because He healed me. And because this is going to be a journey that I need to continue to work on and work through. Because this miracle wasn't for me to stay the same. This miracle was for me to grow and to be closer to Him. And now it's my turn. So, stay tuned. So, who knows where else this is gonna go. There's a lot ahead of us. God bless.